sit around the table together and see what are our responsibilities to solve the problem. So working together in another way than we used to do, I think is a very necessary ingredient to solve some of the big issues we have.
Okay, I think knowledge. In the end, knowledge is power. And when we talk about smart technology and knowledge, one of the dangers is that the best knowledge for the moment is captured by 5 companies in the world who make our life more comfortable, but you can really stress the idea that maybe companies like Google, you can't attack Google anymore because they control the market completely worldwide. They collect all the knowledge, and there must be a point that you say as a government, maybe you should or be a shareholder at Google or plug in a kind of state property, because if you don't know what's happening anymore, you're only dependent on open sources, and Google plays the game of open source, but in reality, of course, they know much more than they show us. And then they become a kind of first government, not elected, run by advertisement. And I think that's one of the dangers I see of smart technology.
Can you translate it into planning? You say what you say is reminds me of David Eggers, the circle. It's in the bookshop. I think it's a really important fiction.
Yeah.
And he says that's very heavy. Are you already feeling that it enters the urban planning practice? Is this balance between private corporations who know much better how to make business than the cities and the national government?
Well,
no clear examples, but what we proposed 15 years ago, that the government would build up a kind of database of the Netherlands. And it took a little while and it didn't work out completely, and in the end Google was faster and smarter and did it actually. And I think it's strange that but I think also a lot of people working at ministries check Google to get information. And Google sorts information. So they make the priority in what comes up in your findings. So in that sense, we're all already influenced. We don't know, but every day we are influenced by the selection made by Google. Even people who govern the world and also ministers who check Google if they do things right or wrong.
Hans, this is a topic for your spatial planning, because it's actually, I think I can immediately follow what Wouter says, but it's not in the classical planning, you would never think about it.
No, that makes it a very difficult and complex question. Because I feel what you mean, or I relate to what you mean, but I'm not that pessimistic also, because even the knowledge of Google, what's the knowledge of Google if it can't connect to the solutions or the problems we are working at? Google is one of the partners. Of course they earn money, but they will always make a connection with their knowledge with public parties, but also with other companies. So I think we should rethink on the preconditions on how we use data, what kind of infrastructure we need to use data and open source much better and much more effective than we have now. So I'm more worried about what kind of infrastructure we have and who's owner of the infrastructure than of the companies that are on the infrastructure and use data for their own good. But in my opinion, their own good will relate to some of the questions we have.
So would you say that infrastructure should remain in public hands always?
Not necessary, but it should, the government should make the conditions that the infrastructure is open, that it's that everyone can go on the infrastructure, and that the conditions are there that everyone can use the infrastructure.
Yeah.
If I have a brilliant idea and I want to start a company with you, and I need the data infrastructure to get to all the people here, we have to deal with or Ziggo or KPN in Holland. And it's very difficult to get really on that infrastructure. And that's more a problem than problem
but then against this, you can consider knowledge maybe as one of the necessities of a society, like energy is, or electricity is, or we don't consider it yet, but you can consider it as a resource. And the question is if government should also take care for proper storage and accessibility of a resource, instead of only taking the infrastructure where knowledge can flow in. And in that sense, I think we have 20 years of memory loss in that sense. We lost a lot of knowledge in the past 20 years. And I think that's a future thought, how to deal with knowledge as a resource.
So that's so maybe a layer to think about the planning of knowledge, which is interesting. And I suppose it occurred to me during this conversation that there was a time when we didn't have to pay for parking on the streets. We thought that was normal. Now we all pay for parking. But why is it actually that Google can take data of our cities and we don't tax them for doing that? That's actually interesting, eh? Because the data is being collected as if it's free, but why is it actually free if you then later have to pay for it, right?
Well, the funny thing, when you go at Google Earth in Germany, I don't know how it's in Switzerland, but in Germany, all in the big cities, nothing is visible because everybody said it's not allowed to take a picture of my house. So Google Earth in Germany is worthless, actually.
Okay, yeah. Apparently in the Netherlands we are really relaxed. I mean, we always... This is the country, by the way, that at the time that you still had vinyl records, we threw them out immediately when the CDs came. We thought it was over, and now we all regret it. But I think you might be one of those persons that kept them, right? Your records?
Yes, I did.
I knew it somehow. Other questions, and perhaps use your expertise for what you know about multimedia and so forth, thinking about challenges to planning, so that people can also learn from you. Other questions? I know it's the one question there. I saw you. You wanted to raise your hand, right?
Exactly. I read on a piece of paper in the exhibition that technology is going to be the answer for the future livable city. But what are actually the answers at the questions? And I want to ask you, what questions do you guys have in mind? What are the key questions for creating a future livable city?
I think my key question is, let's say that cities are very attractive and that more and more people want to live in the city. Then one of the key questions is how can we keep the city open and accessible for everybody, and not only for the people who can afford it.
So social inequality is for you the crucial question. Hans?
Yes, I agree with that, because it's the biggest issue we will face if we don't think about how we address that social issue. Cities will become very, very expensive because a lot of people want to live in the cities, and it will merge out the social functions. People will less money will live outside the city, and before you know it, you have a kind of London where the inner city is absolutely not affordable to anyone who isn't a millionaire. And I think it's the issue to keep the cities alive and kicking, and to make sure the quality we now have will prevail.
Here's another question.
Thank you. You're speaking a lot about Google technologies and the smart values in the near future in the cities. It's very interesting for me. What is your thought about artificial intelligence in the next maybe 5 years or maybe 10 years? Do you include thoughts and inspiration and imagination of artificial intelligence in planning urbanism?
Do you have an example of where you, I mean, because artificial intelligence for me not immediately obvious?
Yes, I mean, for example, deep machine learning, like Google has a big development on robotics and artificial intelligence, like deep machine learning, self-learning machines. That is very interesting to know where we're going to in the near future.
Yeah, I think it's a very, very interesting question. We have seen the robotizing of our muscles many years ago, and now we see the robotizing of our brains if you talk about artificial intelligence. And the real question is, there is a lot of work now which perhaps is redundant when we use artificial intelligence, and it should lead to the discussion, do we work the entire week, or are there only a few days for us in which we can be productive to keep our economy up and running? And that discussion is now very, how do you say, filled with a political, in an ideological, political way. But it would be if we could open that discussion and have an open discussion on how we relate to that question, I think it would be very interesting to see what it means to be productive, and if we're not really working for our money because we have an artificial intelligence, what does it mean what does it do with our lives? What kind of cities we need then? What does it do with the public space if we don't work the entire day or sit in an office or whatever you do, because it makes the way we move, the freedom we will have to do the things we want to do is much different when you don't have to work 40 hours a week or whatever. And that's the discussion is, well, I'm not sure if it's already started, but we're at the beginning of that discussion.
But if you square that with social inequality, if you think that there is less work, but that means that less people have employment, then I think it needs the brains of the government to anticipate that almost.
Yeah.
Is it on your agenda?
It's not really on my agenda when we talk about the next years and making strategies on the big issues that come to us, but I think it should be. But it's a very, very difficult discussion because, well, you have a discussion that was many years ago, kind of utopia thought that we don't have to work anymore and robots would do the productive things and we could have a good life. That's a kind of beautiful idea we want to have. And before you know it, you have that kind of discussion and a lot of people would say, well, that's not realistic. But so it's difficult to get the real discussion and the real realistic way of thinking about the questions you just said.
You're going to write an essay on the next economy format.
Yeah.
Is this a topic that you trust yourself going into in that direction?
I have to now, yeah, because
you have to now. You got an assignment, mate.
I never think about this, never. But maybe I should. So in that sense, it's a very good question. The only thing I have as an answer is that whatever technology comes to our society, that you can see in history and you can see it nowadays, it's always adding layers. That we stay human beings that breathe, that have social feelings. There are things, let's call it ecology, that nature, that goes on. So everything we develop is a layer adding it. And I really don't know what artificial intelligence is going to do with the whole, but I know it's another layer. It's not going to change the whole world. And the question is, what's going to affect? Yeah, it's good starting to think about it.
Important question, so thank you very much for the question. Is there another question? Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you about the social equality and how to avoid segregation in the cities. You both said like that is really important for you, but I read in articles